You did it before. You got like pseudo killers 3.0.
I know, like you said, I think I did that when I was setting it up.
Cool. You got like pseudo killers 3.0.
I know, like you said, I think I did that when I was setting it up.
Cool. You got like pseudo killers 3.0.
I know, like you said, I think I did that when I was setting it up.
You got the channel. Let's turn the channel off.
Yeah, I just did.
All right, let me see.
Oh, let's go. That's what you wanted to rap about.
We got 1 million motherfuckers watching right now. Shit. Rap about the I put some shit on tape, man. See if we can get Corey, you know. Yeah, I want to rap about the who you think won that actual debate.
Well, Moo and
Yeah. Yeah.
I was leaning more towards Moo.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I was, even though Bennett had the PowerPoint, his PowerPoint wasn't convincing. Like when you know the information, like just
Right.
because the person present a PowerPoint, he might have had a better presentation, but his argument was still flawed and weak to me. You feel me?
Yeah, that's a great point right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, matter of fact, that is the point, yo. So of course he had a better presentation, he had a PowerPoint, right? But the point for me in the debate was the information he presented accurate? And in this community, it seems as though it doesn't matter if your information is accurate, it matters in the presentation of your information.
Right.
And so then that don't make no sense. Because the only reason we would actually debate is to show the community real information. You know, just to come and misinform and mess up, then that's not why we hate you debate. As a matter of fact, that's not why no communities debate. You know what I'm saying? The debate is won on the accuracy of your information. Mm-hmm. And based off of him admitting certain things.
Or the strength of your argument too.
Strength of your right.
I felt like Moo had the stronger argument. You feel me?
Correct. Right. And I think his argument was that this couldn't have been God that wrote that book or inspired that book. I think that pretty much was the argument, right?
Yeah.
So based off of the book, right? Based off of the attributes of what people say God is, okay, the book doesn't back that up. Right? Because God's supposed to know everything at all times. Omnipotent, omnipotent, you know what I'm saying? And omnipresent. So there is nothing that God don't know. God knows in the past, future, the whole 9 yards. So then the question arises, well, how come God didn't know or understand the formation of the universe? Because he just didn't, right? And so we realized that it wasn't God at all that inspired anybody. It was human beings that said that. So we always had a position to say that human beings say that God did this and God did that, or God inspired. God never comes down and say it himself. You will never personally get a memo from God saying, well, this is what it is. So based off of that, right, Mumu won. God don't know how the universe and the cosmos form. That's one point. Second point is, Pastor Bennett misinformed the people with misinformation. One, he takes Lawrence Krauss's information and he says that Lawrence Krauss said that it's probable, it is more probable that man would believe in God. It was something like that. Not quite sure of the statement, but the reality situation is Lawrence Krauss is one, an atheist. Two, he deals with evolution. He's a physicist. Okay, so he understands the development of the frontal lobe. He understands biological human evolution. He understands all that. So he's talking about from an evolutionary process that based off of survival, because that's the only reason mutations are actually brung into being, is because they help the living organism you make it to the age of reproduction. That's when evolution occurs. All right? And so based off an evolutionary process, right, it is that human beings believe. Because those, meaning when you believe something, you look at a lot of different things. Savannah, at about 2 million years ago, okay, you look at the high grass and the high grass moves. So you automatically run from that, right? You run from that because you believe in something in the high grass that could potentially eat you. So we talk about a time period where human beings, you know what I'm saying, they ain't necessarily on their A game, right? And they not the predators, they getting hunted on a regular basis. And so for them not to move and run at that time, it could have been a predator. All right? And the predator, if they didn't run, was actually making the high grass moves. So they believed that the high grass had a predator in it, so they ran. Over time, as you learn the difference between the wind blowing, you know what I'm saying, and the actual high grass being moved by a predator, you know what I'm saying, then you don't gotta believe that no more. But Lawrence Cross was talking about the evolutionary process. What's going on, Concrete Corey? What it do, man? I'm talking about that disrespect of the words of Lawrence Krauss.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, peace to you, Chefreen, and peace to everybody that's out there listening. Yeah, we definitely can't be misconstruing somebody like Lawrence Krauss's words. You know what I'm saying? I think I didn't really hear the whole discussion yesterday with Pastor Bennett and Brother Mumu, but he mentioned something about about religion. You know, how humans are inevitably was going to come up with religion, but you know that like using your words, man, that was a boomerang dagger, because what he was talking about is the evolutionary process. So you know, I don't know what Pastor Bennett thought he was talking about, but I know he was talking about the evolutionary process.
That's a fact. Go ahead, keep going, Corey. I got orders for. Keep going.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, we just you know, that's a typical Christian apologist tactic. You know, almost every single Christian apologist, especially the famous ones, William Lane Craig, it's a few others that's pretty popular. I think William Lane Craig is like one of the most famous Christian apologists out there. He's like a world-renowned Christian apologist. But that's one of his tactics. You know, he always misconstrued what a scientist is saying. And then he used scientists that totally disagree with his premise. You know, his conclusion, all the time did it. So why they would use them or is beyond me. But you know. So what we do is we read. We don't cherry pick. You know, in philosophy they call that cherry picking. We don't take one line off of one page in one paragraph and pick that out and then misconstrue what he was totally talking about in the rest of the paragraph and or the chapter. So, you know. But go ahead, you was gonna say something?
And so we was talking about that debate, right? And I lean towards Mumu, okay? Because once Pastor Bennett admitted that there were contradictions in the Bible, he admitted, since he believed in God, that his God was contradictory, right? But he also admitted that being contradictive is a human attribute. And so no way possible for omnipotent, omnipotent, omnipresent God to make those types of mistakes. So this is man saying that God did this and God did that, right? So he lost right there. So according to the Bible, that would not be a God, at least the type of God that they always try to get us to believe in, right? And so for us, and when we debate, it's about the accuracy of the information and how you prove your argument. So if you prove your argument with misinformation, then you've done the community a grave injustice, because that's not why we're here to debate. We're here to learn something. right? We're here to be taught something. So if you teaching misinformation, then you definitely lost on why we debate. You feel me? We debate for real information. So when you misconstrue the Big Bang Theory, right, with abiogenesis, and you mess that all up, right, and you use it as a reason for why you use for a foundation or for your argument, you know what I'm saying? You know me and you, bro. We like, come on, son. You know what I'm saying? Like you just messed all that up. You have misinformed the community. So I kind of wanted to talk about population 3 stars. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like, in what time period you find these stars. You know what I'm saying? And then and like, so after the Big Bang, you got about what, for the first 350 million years, right? Is when they see these pop 3 stars. You know what I'm saying? Population 3 stars, right? And I think they compose of what, hydrogen and helium. You know what I'm saying? And maybe a little bit of lithium. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
okay,
absolutely.
So first of all, right. So first of all, let's talk about the Hubble, right? The Hubble only goes back to maybe 500
1960s,
million years.
Are you thinking about the way they look, how far it's looking? Yeah, Hubble. Yeah. Something like 500 million.
Right.
Yeah.
So what they did was they took the Hubble and they shined it off of some galaxies, right? And I think it's called gravitational lensing, which allowed them to bend the light to see deeper into deep time. This is what Pastor Bennett don't understand. You feel me?
Absolutely.
Right. So they talk about, they seeing early universes. Early galaxies, but they're not these real tight galaxies that we have now. Spiral is not that. These are the early ones that's made out of pop 3 stars. You feel me? And they know that because they don't find the pop 3 stars no more after that time period. These early ones. You feel me?
Like, dwarf. They call these dwarf galaxies. Go ahead. We'll go. Keep thinking. Yeah.
So basically, I think the point that needs to be known, there's a lot of things that is known. Oh, hold on, let me get this. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. All right. So I think what's important to understand is there's a lot of things they don't know, right? And there's some things that they do know, and what we do know that Pastor Bennett does not understand this. So they, you know what I'm saying? Like, they understand, like, the cosmic background radiation. Yeah, that period. You feel me? Of 1 billion years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, they see back that far. They've learned, then I forget the name, they built a new telescope now that can go back even farther. You feel me? So they understand. There's a few things they don't understand.
It's a simple name. It's right on the tip of my tongue. The Large Something Telescope. I can't remember. You know how scientists keep shit real simple. They just name it what it look like. You know what I mean? But yeah, go ahead though. I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead.
I can't quite think of the scientists. The kind of, the telescope is named after, right? But they're going to be able to see back into time deeper.
Yeah, you're talking about Max Planck.
Nah. Nope.
Not Planck? Okay.
Well, the Max Planck Institute is like a second hand, not a second hand, but he actually, he verifies what NASA did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you know, he dealt with time. That was his claim to fame. He Max Planck. He dealt with time. They actually named in the smallest increment of time that we can measure is called the Planck time. And this is how fast the universe started to expand in the beginning. And when they call it the Big Bang, but it was an expansion. So when the expansion the first expanding space, it happened so fast. It happened in 1 Planck time. So you know what I'm saying? That's just the smallest increment of time. I think it's like cutting up a 1 second into like a billion parts or something like that, something crazy like that. But yeah. So Max Planck, he was real famous for time. But go ahead.
He's also famous for the black body radiation too.
Yeah. No doubt.
He's famous for that,
Mhm.
right? But no, I'm not. Well, we talk about the cosmic background radiation. He's the independent researcher. Well, his
Mhm.
institute is, right? And it's also confirmed what NASA did. See, this is what science does, you know what I'm saying? So we're not just listening to NASA. We have the Max Planck Institute that also verifies that cosmic
Right.
background radiation.
See that, and I like that point. I really like that point. That see what they call that is cross confirmation. And so NASA did it, but then he cross confirmed it with his private institute. So that's just how science works. And also, we also cross confirm science through different fields of science. So if you're talking, if you're an archaeologist, your findings, your conclusions have to measure up with the geologists. You know what I'm saying? And even the geologists, they have to line up. They have to line up with the meteorologists. You know what I'm saying? And all of that. Like it's not just one set of scientists or one group of scientists or one scientist himself that's coming up with these conclusions. These are all cross-confirmed through different fields of study in science, in the scientific field. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I just wanted to highlight that point because that was a good point you made.
Yeah. So that whole Bible thing and God don't. Matter of fact, I'm gonna step all the way on to them and say that nobody got it right until modern science tackled the question.
Right. Till we get the tools or the knowledge to be able to verify it.
Right.
Like I always like to talk about how science creates byproducts. You know what I'm saying? So if you do good science, you're gonna get a byproduct out of it. So if you're good at engineering and aerodynamics, you're gonna get an airplane. You know what I'm saying? Like it has byproducts. Evolutionary biology leads on to medicine. You know what I'm saying? Insulin is due to evolutionary biology. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't have insulin. Black community is run rampant with diabetes and shit like that. So without that, you wouldn't even we wouldn't have that medicine for people. You know what I'm saying? So
if you go back to say 6,000 years ago to Napata, that's in the southern region of the Nile Valley, below
mm-hmm.
what they call
You went way robotic. Is that or is that just
what
me?
you calling astronomical devices that actually system, which is valuable.
Yeah, you roboting it, huh?
Every time I go through this area, it's robotics.
Yeah. You getting a little bit better, but everything for the last 3 minutes, you everything you said I couldn't hear it, but you're getting better now.
Go ahead.
I didn't hear none of that what you just said, but till you get a little bit better, I heard I wanted to bring something up that I heard Moo say.
I'm getting up. All right.
So Moo he mentioned in one of the chapters and verses, and I'm not a Bible scholar by any means. I don't ever think I know what I'm talking about when it comes to the Bible, but he mentioned in one of the chapters and verses in the Bible that God had changed his mind about something. And so, and then you talked about earlier how this God is supposed to be omniscient, omnipotent, omnipotent, omnipresent, all this, you know what I'm saying? He know everything before it's supposed to happen and all this, you know? So by him changing his mind, that's a contradiction in itself. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Somebody that already know everything, somebody that's all powerful and all knowing, changing your mind wouldn't be a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like that wouldn't make sense to change your mind. That's contradictory or whatever.
Yeah, because you know everything. Why, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you good now. You good.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense. Like when God repents, like why would you repent away from you know from a decision that you already understood to be? Right.
Yeah. It shouldn't be no such thing as making a bad decision. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or somebody doing something to change your mind because you know you would already know what they was gonna do. So you know what I mean? Like it's just crazy the way they you know they don't really understand, you know, logic and how logic works and how the real world works. I guess when you using magic and the supernatural and all of that, I guess you don't have to play by those rules. But logically, say it again, Chef.
That's a good point, because if you know everything, like if you have all, if everything is predicted because you all knowing, then you can't repent, because repent means that you regret something. You feel me? You regret a decision that you didn't make, or something that you let happen. Then it gets even deeper, because it goes into there will be no need for prayer, right? Because we can't change God's mind. So anything that we asked for, he already done decided what we was going to get or how he was going to let event play out. So it makes supplication to a creator non and void. You feel me? It cancels it out.
And I can take you out into even deeper water, Chefreen. That kind of cancels out free will. You know, they hang their hat on free will. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
But if you have a creator that knows all, sees all, and is all powerful, there's no way you can have free will. You know what I mean? If he created you and he know everything that's gonna happen before it happened, everything you're gonna do, everything the world's gonna do, everything the universe is gonna do before it happened, and he's the creator, there's no way possible that you can have free will. That's a contradiction in itself. You know what I mean? And that's like one of the Christian things, one of their pillars, I guess you would say.
What about the they don't believe in free will, right? What's the other dudes?
Yeah, they believe in free will. I mean, if you're a Christian, you almost, you gotta be. That's why when Garfield asks him, well, how come you can't tell God to come down and choke him, or this, that, and the other, or God won't do this, or God won't do that? The claim is because he would be interfering in your free will. You know what I'm saying? You got will to do evil. You got the free will. If you want to do evil, you got the free will to do that. You know what I'm saying? All that kind of shit. Like it's just a big contradiction, though. You know what I'm saying? But that's one of the things Christians hang their hat on is free will. That's how they get away with a lot of their arguments, because that God don't want to be interfering or making choices to humans. Humans got their own choices and they do their own thing. Yeah.
Oh man, what's that Christian guy? I can't. It's a specific brand of Christianity. Apologist or something? What they call?
Oh, you're talking about a Calvinist. The ones that think everything is predestined. They believe in predestination.
Right. They don't believe in free will.
Calvinist.
Right.
Yeah, they don't believe. They come right out and tell you they don't believe in free will. You know what I'm saying? Because see and that's the thing with the Bible. Like everybody's got a different position because it depends on what chapter and verse you read. You know what I'm saying? Which way you can go? Which way you gonna go on that? You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, the Bible don't got no position, do it? That's funny. It don't necessarily have a position.
No. It's all look. This is how you know it's different people in different time periods that's writing these stories. You know what I mean? Like as it's too many, it's all over the place. You know, it's a contradiction in itself. The whole Bible. You know.
Yeah,
and that's just from what I hear. And I come to that conclusion from listening to Christian apologists. Now I don't read the Bible or nothing like that, but like listening to Christian apologists and debates and stuff like that, I came to the conclusion that the Bible is all over the place. You can't nail the Bible down to one position. Whatever you want to believe, you can find a chapter and verse to back you up for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you could, right. So because so many authors.
Say that again, huh?
In different time periods. Because it's so. Am I breaking up?
No, you ain't breaking up. I just couldn't hear you that good right there.
Yeah, because there's so many different authors and in different time periods with different ideas, we can see how that's working. That's not hard to see why it's like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It makes sense. Right? So no, at no point do I think Mumu lost. Yeah, you can't you can't miseducate the community with false information and claiming a victory. You got to give solid information. You know what I'm saying? He always mess up when he get outside of the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Don't stay in the Bible, dude. You cannot.
I would think the pastor, you know, I would give the pastor. Let's say we was rating the match from 1 to 10, right? I'd have to give Pastor 8.5 because of his style points, his presentation. Now I go ahead and give Mumu the win because his information kind of panned out. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it. Now some of the things he said, I would like. I didn't hear the whole thing, but you know what I mean. Like I think I can't remember some of the things he said that I kind of was questioning. I didn't understand where he was coming from with it, you know. But but for the most part, his information would pan out. So, you know, you'd have to give him the win, but you got to give Pastor Bennett 8.5 for his style points. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he had a PowerPoint. So his presentation, the way he presented the information was good. And see, in this community, it's always based off your presentation. It's not based off of the accuracy of your information, right? But since we're supposed to have a community that's trying to learn, it has to be graded off of the accuracy of the information. It just has to be.
Yeah. And thinking about now that I think about it more though, I might call it a tie though, because Pastor Bennett won as far as presentation, but as far as factual information, we'd have to give it to Mumu. But so you know, I guess if you're grading on both of those levels, you know, Mumu lost in his presentation. You know, Pastor had a better presentation.
Hey, Corey.
Go ahead.
If me and you is about to play a game of basketball, we're gonna hoop against each other, right? And we going to 11. But you got on the new Jordans and the best outfit. You feel me? And you got crazy handles. You dribble like Kyrie, right? But I told you, right? 11 to 0. I can't give you no points for how you dress. I can't give you no points that you don't get a bucket. Look, I can't say, yo, he get 5 points for the Jordans. You feel me? And he gets 6 points for his outfit. No, you didn't score. Basketball is about scoring. Debating is about who presented the best. The argument was more convincing. Moo argument logically was more sound and more convincing. So he win. I don't care what. You feel me? How Pastor Bennett talks for a living, right? He's a pastor. So he's used to speaking in front of people. He's going to be more polished, and he's going to get his thoughts out a little bit more clear than most of us. In a limited amount of time that you give him, he's going to get his shit out. That's what he does. You feel me? He do this for a living. So we already, it's a wash when it comes to that. You feel me? He's going to get all of his points out clear, whether his points make any sense or not. He's going to be the more he's going to be the more clear orator in that sense, right? So I give him that. But he didn't win that debate. He like on what we judge a debate on, he lost that.
When you use the basketball analogy, he can't win that. You know what I'm saying? But I do like the way that Pastor presents himself. He got a broad vocabulary and everything. So like I said, he articulates himself very well. So he get his point across though. And he a good apologist. Like he brings different things to the table than most of the conscious community. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of like appreciate that a little bit. But yeah, his information, like everything what he said was a contradiction. Not only that, he misconstrued my favorite physicist in the world. You know what I'm saying? So I just really don't appreciate that.
Yeah, well, that's my point. Like, he doesn't understand. He doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was saying his whole thing was biogenesis. He didn't even get into the abiogenesis. You feel me? And that's what the scientists are using today. They're using abiogenesis. He went back to the 1800s, bro, with the biogenesis where life comes from life. Like, that's my point. Like, you're so far out of scope. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, in the 1800s, they didn't realize that life was chemical. Now we get it. Life is chemical. You feel me? So they talk about the RNA.
I gotta jump off for a second though, but I'll jump back in a second. All right.
So so life is chemical, okay? And this is what most people don't understand. They understand it today. So it's chemistry, right? And they understand the different components, but they don't understand the damn recipe. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, they understand they understand RNA and DNA. You know what I'm saying? So basically, we walk in DNA. Everything has DNA. So we basically walk in DNA that has mutated in its environment. And depending on that environment, you know what I'm saying, you get humans. Depending on that environment, you get fish. You get whales that are mammals. You know what I'm saying? You get trees, right? You get birds, bees, insects. But they all contain DNA. You know what I'm saying? So DNA is presenting itself to survive in different environments. This is what we're really talking about, right? They just haven't figured out. They're working on it, though. I swear to goodness they're working on it. But just because they don't have everything doesn't mean the default setting for don't have is God. And that's the problem. That our default setting is God. And we call that the God of the gaps. So whenever humans don't know something, we put God in it. No, that's not what you do as a scientist. That simply means you just don't know. And anything that you believe, that's your personal belief. That's personal. You know what I'm saying? Strictly personal. Simple as that. And there's nothing wrong with having personal beliefs. But your personal beliefs does not overthrow science. Your personal beliefs, you know what I'm saying, can never be used, you know what I'm saying, to educate the community properly. Because it's always about science, technology, you know what I'm saying, and economics. You feel me? So when it comes to these things, we should never waver on that. Now, I think the phone was breaking up when I talked about how astrology, right? My fault, astronomy. Yeah, I mean, it goes back at least 6,000 years to the Pata, right? Where these Africans were actually, yeah, I mean, charting stars, and a lot of these these rocks, right? These star clocks with those particular star systems. This is the first time that we actually see, or we start to see human beings starting to plot out, you know what I'm saying, heavenly bodies. This later on becomes a field of astronomy, you know what I'm saying? A deep look into space, and you start to develop technology that allows you to look deeper in space. And the deeper you look in space, the more you understand space, and the more you understand galaxies, and the more you understand quasars. What's a quasar? You know what I'm saying? But it's all based off of those first humans, you know what I'm saying, charting these stars. And so, a science pushes technology, and technology pushes stars. So it's no way that people in Nepal could have ever developed a Hubble telescope. They just didn't have the foundation. The foundation is started in one of the spots is in Nepal player. Did I say that right, Chef? You always mess that up.
Nap the plier.
Not the plier. Yeah, not the plier. Yeah, so this is the rudimentary basis of how astronomy, you know what I'm saying, has grown to these days. But it all started with those first Africans on the Nile Valley. And so you don't get to the Hubble telescope without dealing with those brothers that was looking at, the brothers and sisters that was plotting the star system, right? And so, it's important to understand that, right? That there's no boom out of nowhere and stuff just pops up. There is no pop-up thing. So God is a pop-up thing. When you pop up out of nowhere and make a design, well, we know the designs of anything takes time. And not to mention the human design. The way humans are designed is not a great design at all. And it took billions of years to even get to this point. Because we always go back to the universal common ancestor. Feel me? So, at the end of the day, man, that's my take on who actually won, that debate. You know what I'm saying? I said the debate is always based off of who has the better information, not who presents the wrong information better. That should never be the litmus test. You got anything else to add, y'all? Think how long we been on?
About 30 minutes.
That should be enough then, shit.
About 30 minutes. No, but we had a show on well, one thing we could talk about is the resurgence of the coronavirus. I don't know if it's actually a resurgence because it never went away. I think the White House, has been doing poor reporting on it, taking their foot off the gas, and other things has been, taking up our mind space as far as the news and what's going on. All of the protests and stuff made us, put the coronavirus on the back seat. I think people was a little bit fatigued about it and kind of, tired of being in the house and tired of hearing about it. So the George Floyd situation, everybody ran with that. So the coronavirus is not a resurgence. It didn't go nowhere, and we didn't properly deal with it. You feel me? So that's what we're looking at right now. With all of the cases skyrocketing in Florida and Arizona and Texas, you know what I mean? So we definitely need to talk about that. We need to talk about how the conscious community dropped the ball on it. They just as short-sighted, you know what I mean, as the rest of the media, they only go with what's popping right now, you know what I mean? So you heard Polite and everybody, they was all talking about the coronavirus when it was fresh in the media. Now it's not fresh in the media no more. You don't hear nobody talking about it no more. They off that. So we need to talk about that, and we need to stay on that topic.
Say it again, yo. You went out.
Damn, I went out. I was talking for a minute, yo.
No, you went out at the end. You were saying stay on top of the coronavirus?
Yeah, we need to stay on top of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We need to keep beating that drum.
Yeah. We can't get tired. We can't get worn out.
All right.
Yeah, we can't get worn out because it's real.
Right.
It's absolutely real, yo, and it's part of what it is. It ain't no halfway stepping, right? The only thing that's going to actually deal with that is science. And all the information that we know about the coronavirus comes from science. It don't come from the YouTube guys. It don't come from the Facebook guys. You know what I'm saying? It don't come from the red pills, the green pills, the gray pills. You know what I'm saying? The pseudo community or the pseudo scientists. The information does not come from that, right? It comes from science. Simple as that. It don't come from the church. Church can't save you. The Egyptian church can't save you. The Persian church can't save you. The American church can't save you. The Catholic church can't save you. Jesus can't save you. All the saviors known in the world can't save you. You know what I'm saying? Science is the only thing that's taking a real look at. Yeah, and I see you doing your due diligence, man, to hit that chair after you finish. You know what I'm saying? Doing what you're supposed to do. Yeah, safe barbering. I see you. Absolutely. Following the measures. Now, suppose it was a pseudo. Oh, man, there ain't no virus. I ain't got to do none of that.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. That would be crazy. Have somebody sick as a dog around here.
So, yeah, because so pseudoscience is now we see the importance of proper methodology and understanding science, the importance of it. Because now the pseudoscience is actually affecting people. Like for instance, the President of the United States. We do not vote for the President of the United States because he understands science, right? Or he can do science. That's not why we vote for the President of the United States, right? We vote on leaders that can pull together some of the best minds to tackle the problems. See, we don't deal with a dictatorship, right? So we pick a president based off his ability to pull together a tight cabinet, you know what I'm saying, of other thinkers that can tackle the multitude of problems. Now, if we want a damn dictator, then you know what I'm saying, then Trump be great. You feel me? So when people actually listen to the president, I be thinking there's pseudoscientists that are listening to the president. But those who clearly understand science know that don't listen to the president, right? He has one of the top scientists, the nation's top scientists, Apophysis. You know what I'm saying? He's an infectious disease scientist, right? And when you hear the president go against him, you know not to listen to the president.
Facts.
You feel me?
Yep.
So you're never supposed to listen to the president when it comes to that. He's not a scientist. He's just talking. Right? It's crazy. He's just talking. And so, we was ahead of the curve in trying to bring the community scientific information and scientific literature and scientific vocabulary. Because this is really the problem, Chef. The problem is people don't understand the vocabulary. It's a whole different language in science. Pastor Bennett routinely talked about an hypothesis, right? An educated guess. That's not a hypothesis in science. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we should look that up and go ahead and say something. I'm going to find a definition of what a scientific hypothesis is.
Oh no, yo, I definitely agree, man. Is we have to start looking at people's information and not how they present it. A good presenter is always good. I'm not saying that you don't pose try to have a tip-top presentation. I definitely agree that you're supposed to prepare, on debate somebody and have your shit in order. So I'm not saying that, you should just be able to come on and just chitter-chatter and, No, your shit should be put together. But at the end of the day, who had the better argument who information was more solid is what's going to move the community forward, not who has the best showmanship or the best presentation. You know, that we got to get rid of that type of thinking. You know what I mean? Because most of the time our best thinkers are not the best presenters. You feel me? Like that like personality sometimes get dwarfed by intellect. You can see that with a lot of great thinkers. They have poor social skills. You know what I mean? They be introverts. You know, they don't socialize properly. They don't communicate with others properly. So if we're just gonna go off of intellect, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people that we need to listen to more in our community, but we don't listen to them because they don't talk as fluently as Phil Valentine. You dig what I'm saying? They don't give you the pizzazz of a Phil Valentine, but their information is spot on. You dig what I'm saying? So we need to up our game as a community, basically. We need to up our game. You know what I mean? Everybody is not going to be have the oratory skills of a pastor, and I think that's the problem. We're so religious orientated, right? And the best speakers most of the time in our community are our pastors and the people that we see in church. We look at that as the epitome of intellect in our community. And if a person can orate at the level of a pastor, the best orators that we've seen in our community, then we tend to lean towards them. Hence Polite. Polite can orate, you know what I mean, fluently. So most of the time he's given credit in debates and in conversations because he orates more clearly than most people that he goes up against. So we give him those, the community, we giving him those wins, right? Because he hits you with a fruit salad of big words that they don't understand, because I don't be understanding half of the shit that he's talking about. But then when we go and research what he's saying, half of the shit don't, you know what I mean, match up to what he's saying. You know what I mean? So, but the community don't research, you know what I mean? So they give him wins. Like, did you find the hypothesis yet?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, so okay. Right here. Hypothesis. All right. So let me get right here. Okay, so hypothesis, plural, hypotheses, is a proposed explanation for a phenomenon. It say for an hypothesis to be a scientific hypothesis, the scientific method requires that one can test it. Okay, scientists generally base scientific hypotheses on previous observations that cannot satisfactorily be explained with the available scientific theories. Okay, even though the word hypothesis and theory are often used synonymously, a scientific hypothesis is not the same as a scientific theory. Okay, a working hypothesis is a previously accepted hypothesis proposed for further research in a process beginning with the educated guess or thought. The different meaning of the term hypothesis is used in formal latitude to note antecedent of a proposition. Thus, the proposition, if P and Q, P denotes hypothesis. All right, that's too much for that. Let me go to right here. Scientific hypothesis. People refer to a trial solution to a problem as a hypothesis, often called an educated guess, because it provides a suggested outcome based on the evidence. However, some scientists reject the term educated solving the problem. Okay? So, you know what I mean? That's what it is. We can go down far, y'all can look that up. But that's important that when scientists use it, it's more than just an educated guess. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just like a theory. When scientists use it, it's more than just a daggone theory. Okay? So when we talking about things like the Big Bang, the Big Bang Theory, man, that has been proven and verified. You know what I'm saying? And until you find something, until they come up with something that's better, right? Then, you know what I'm saying, to overturn that theory, okay, then that's set in place right there. All right? So everybody's talking about, well, Big Bang ain't been proven. Man, the theory shows how the phenomenon works. All right? And they did not have a better explanation for how the universe came into being. Okay? I think we talked about it earlier. You know what I'm saying? About neutral atoms, you know what I'm saying? Matter, the whole 9 yards. So this theory encompasses all of that. You feel me? So no, the Bible doesn't come close. The Bible is the belief, right? It's based off beliefs in how God made things, having absolutely nothing to do with the natural phenomenon. So I just wanted to kind of bring that point out. Yeah, I shared that link in the chat. Yeah, I shared that link on Facebook, so we got about 12,000 watching right now. I see you. What's going on? Black African Power, what's up with you? Everything is everything. What's good, man? Dave B, what's up, man? Anusha, I see you. Yeah. So yeah, so all right. I think, you know what I mean? You got anything you want to add? Oh, we have that debate probably on the 17th for the coronavirus. I mean, this virus is pretty gonna have another vaccine debate. It should be on Chill Talk, man. It should be the 17th of this month, man. Me, Dr. Mian, and probably Sean P,
man.
Man.
Yeah, definitely got to keep beating that drum. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're gonna beat that drum, Chef. We're gonna beat that drum, bro. Right? Because we're gonna beat that drum because they can't do nothing with what we talking about. You feel me? and the misuse, Lawrence Krauss, and the misuse of a scientist, man, is crazy. Like, I tell you something else that pastors will try to do on a regular basis. They'll say, well, 40% of scientists believe in God. Like, what does that mean? Like, their personal beliefs, what does that mean?
Right.
What you can't do is you can't interject your personal beliefs into your scientific data or data because it'll get rejected. That's a very, very important point right there. So you don't have scientists that actually, take their beliefs and, you know what I'm saying, and merge into the scientific data. That should get falsified quick.
Right.
Get thrown about it. Yeah. So I mean, shout out to Moo. Shout out to Pastor Ben, right? I'll tell Moo that you should learn science. You should get scientifically literate, right? And I tell Pastor Bennett the same thing. Get scientifically literate, because you're gonna always lose, especially on my card, right? Messing up scientific data, messing up scientific. Learn the language. This is for everybody, man. Learn the language of science, man. We can't even give them some of the videos, Chef, that we be looking at because they don't understand the language. It'd be like they talking Chinese to them. Wah 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 wah. They don't understand it.
And again, like the speakers don't be as charismatic as what they're used to. So that'll turn them off right there. You feel me? They'll call it boring. You know what I mean? A lot of the stuff they're called boring. That's just how it is. You know what I mean? And if you're not into stuff like that, then it's a waste of time damn near to give it to certain people.
Yeah. I mean, when you present the scientific ideas and stuff, man. A lot of the yelling and screaming and fast talking Like when other speakers try to actually speed you up, because that's what they do. They try to speed you up. Like you got to try to hurry up and get your point across, right? I call it speeding you up. And it's too much information, right? Too complicated, too different of vocabulary to be engaging in stuff like that, trying to hurry up, get it in before somebody cuts you off. You know what I'm saying? I call that speeding you up. And so a lot of stuff is lost in the translation. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff is lost in the fact that you can't give a detail, right? It's science. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I know I do the best I can do in these types of circles, chef, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's just hard, man. You know what I'm saying? It's to the point now where, you know, we want to talk about the cosmos and what it means. Man, if I'm in the middle of dealing with people who actually come asking questions not to know but to debate, right? That's not a good space for me these days, bro. If you come to me asking a question because you want to know, that's a better space for me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I generally want people to learn. And it's hard learning, it's hard teaching when you get cut off every 5 sentences, right? And then the people you're talking to, they messing it up and butchering it so much, right? And the longer you let them talk, the longer you get away from the point they butchered up. And it's just not a real good space. It's just not. Nah, it's not. It's not. And then to spend too many hours on debate and religion and all that, it takes away from your study time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it takes away from your study time.
And it's continuing to dumb the audience down because they're not elevating. You can't keep talking about, you know, like you just can't keep talking about religious stuff. You feel me? Like one thing black people know, we know religious stuff. Like that's easy. You know what I mean? That's been in our community, what, for forever. So we get that. You know, but the science, the hard shit, you feel me, is where we supposed to be. That's the next stage. You feel me? And it's kind of hard, but we got to go through that hard stage so we can, you feel, so we can get to that level, man. We got to get to that level. We got to learn how to communicate. We got to learn how to be a global people. You feel me? And to be a global people, you have to deal in science. It's no other way.
Yeah. There's no other way, yo.
There's no other way. To be a community, right, in the world, you have to deal in science. You have to, everybody don't care about your religion. You feel me? Like there's communities that doesn't care about your, you know what I mean? How you gonna talk to China, right, and be on par with China, right? And you're still, the deepest your conversation can go is talking about what Jesus or Moses did. You feel me? Like how is that solving any world issues? You feel me? Any issues that the world is clean energy, you feel me? The ozone layer, you know, whether mining cobalt is good for the atmosphere. Like anything that's affecting us, you know what I mean? Or that's gonna affect your children in the future. You feel me? These are the things that we supposed to be tackling now. And we're not in that conversation at all. We gotta raise the community level to be able to deal with those conversations, because that's the conversations that the people around the world is having. People are done with Jesus. You feel me? The people that's moving the world forward is done with the Jesus conversation. We still having that motherfucker. We done with that Jesus conversation. People are not creating cell phones, you feel me, with the Jesus conversation. It's that science, that math, that technology. You dig what I'm saying? Like, so it's crazy, man.
Yeah, it depends on who kicking. First of all, no, they're not using that. But I could never forget, you know, how we got into the conversation growing up. And so, you know, you always got to reach back and grab people. And so that's why you got these different lanes. And so I can absolutely respect what Garfield do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he do. He has the Jesus conversation. and for a moment, let's reflect on that conversation. Now watch this. This is how bananas it is. For Pastor Bennett to agree with Garfield, right? Because he actually did agree with Garfield, actually puts a boomerang dagger in his own religion. Think about what I'm saying, Chef.
Mm-hmm.
So if Pastor Bennett agrees with Garfield, which he says, right, then you have effectively proven that the Jesus Christ of the Bible is not real. Right? Because the Jesus Christ in the Bible has to have certain things. Like, Jesus wouldn't even be important if he was the guy that Garfield is talking about. It wouldn't matter. He just been a good old-fashioned preacher with a couple followers, yo. That's it. That's all it would have been. It would have been, that's it. A guy who wasn't even popular during his damn time. That's it, Chef, right? If you follow the Jesus Christ that Garfield is talking about, that they talk about in theology school. So Pastor Bennett cannot agree with Garfield because the Jesus Christ that Pastor Bennett is talking about was born by way of a virgin birth, which goes against science, right? Which goes against the sperm. You know what I'm saying? And the ovum. It goes against that. Right? It also goes against organisms dying and coming back to life again, because that's not what organisms do. An organism does not die and come back to life. An organism, once it dies and that particular energy, you know what I'm saying, that's needed to sustain life is gone, right? It becomes biodegradable in the system, right? So you do not come back, right? Part of the system is dying, because dying presents the energy for more life. So you got to die. Everything dies. The cosmos die. Right? That produces more energy. You know what I'm saying? For the next phase. Okay? So that Jesus, the creating of miracles and walking on water, right? That's a biblical Jesus that Pastor Bennett agrees with. But that's not the Jesus that Garfield agrees with. So he was trying to get you to see what the difference is. You know what I'm saying? So that was a conversation. It was a notch up above, you know what I'm saying, just the Jesus conversation. I just want everybody to understand that, and I think a lot of people, you know, they kind of miss that. But I wanted to put that out there. But the world is not having the religious amongst us is having a conversation. The world is moving forward on science and neutrinos. What's a neutrino? You know what I'm saying? What's the decay? What does a neutrino decay to? It decays to what? Protons and neutrons and electrons. You know what I'm saying? And to understand this is to understand the cosmos, and to understand the cosmos is to understand life, right? And to understand life on earth is to understand humans, right? And to understand humans is to understand that the first humans that walked upright started in Africa. And to understand that is to understand black history, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you understand in black history, you know what I mean, then you understand where you at. And to understand where you at is to know where the hell you are and what to do. And to understand all that, right, push you in the space age and let you know that we, goddamn it, we space age Africans. And that's what we're fighting for. We're not fighting to regain our goddamn glory. You know what I'm saying? We fighting, right, to be competitive in the space age. That's what we pushing Africa to. So if you got to get rid of some of the tribes, you know what I'm saying, and rebuild, you know what I'm saying, these tribes that live in the bush and have these well-constructed huts, right? If you need to bulldoze them, you know what I'm saying, and build some hospitals and build some housing with running water, then I'll be damned, that's what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? I'll be damned. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you right now that as time moves forward, right, Africa is going to be the only place that's going to be able to match, you know what I'm saying, European colonialism. Plain and simple. I just want to say that. logically sound, yo. You know what I'm saying? You take them from the element of just, not only you make them modify, you know what I'm saying, in space age, their culture. And this is important. You start getting roads. So now the different villages that we have in a large part of Africa, we'll start to build roads, not just dirt roads, but concrete roads that connect these villages, which allows ideas to flow back and forth, right? We bulldoze the huts that they have. And nowhere am I saying that all Africa have huts. No, that's not the truth, right? But to build this infrastructure, you got to bulldoze some shit. You know what I'm saying? To learn more, you got to get rid of that. You got to add on to the traditional. Hell, China got one of the oldest traditions in traditional medicine, and they got top-notch hospitals. You know what I'm saying? Top-notch infectious disease and virologists, right? Y'all trying to take us back to the point where that's all we had. That's a bunch of malarkey. So yeah, we need to bulldoze a lot of that. So it's like a phoenix when you burn something down, right? When you bulldoze something down, out of the ashes, will be a space-age Africa that will be able to contend with the Europeans and the world stage. So yep, that's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can add on to that if y'all want to.
What up? Peace.
What's good?
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah,
what up?
Ain't too much. Yeah, I'm out here on the grind, man. I'm just listening now. I'm gonna mute my mic and add something.
Pseudo kill on deck. Well, I see you, Van. Pseudo kill on deck. Concrete Coy. See you. Okay. So yeah, that's
I came in.
Cody?
I came in at the very, very end of that. I heard you mention being on the world stage. I mean, that's what it's all about. Being on that world stage. You know what I'm saying? Being involved in the trade and the commerce, making the decisions on and being a part of the innovations that human beings, or get to the point where they can't live without. You know what I'm saying? How can we can't, like, look at the cell phone, look at the internet and all this. Like, without cell phones and internet, half the way we live will have to change, go back. We have to go back 50, 60, 70 years. You know what I'm saying? So like cell phones and the internet would, they was life-changing innovations. This is what we need to be a part of. These are the things that's worth, spending time on and getting a better understanding on. Helping you get a better understanding to God and the Bible, that ain't gonna help you get none of that. That's all I'm saying. Man, that might not have had nothing to do with what you said, but I heard you talk about being on the world stage, and that's what it means to be on the world stage, creating and innovating. You know what I'm saying? They about to get ready to go to Mars, man. They finna colonize the universe. We hear word about whether Abraham was real or not.
Hey, Corey, wait a minute. You know what's funny? A lot of you not. You came in at the end of the damn conversation, but you're expounding on what Chefreen said and what I said. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. All I heard you say was being on a world stage. That's all I heard you say.
Yeah, and then you put the pieces. Now this is what I was saying. I was saying, those villages and stuff that we have in Africa, right? We understand we have some cities in Africa. They need to get better with the electricity and the grid and all that. They need to get better with the infrastructure. But my thing is, those villages and stuff need to be connected by concrete roads, bro. So the exchange of ideas can go back and forth. Those huts and stuff need to be bulldozed, and modern housing need to be put in place. It's simple as that. Those raw materials that they have in all those areas need to be put, into production. You know what I'm saying? And the way you do it is you get people like the Chinese and United States, you know what I'm saying, and you cut a damn deal with them. But you don't cut a deal with them to give them 1,000 acres. For 100 years, you cut a deal with them to help build your infrastructure. This is what great nations do, right? So I'm telling you right now that the only people that are challenge the world, you know what I'm saying, later on down the road, will be Mother Africa. Because they got the state of land, right? They got the resources, and most of all, they got the development of the frontal lobe and the Homo sapiens sapiens at an all-time high in Africa, bro. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta get rid of the old shit. Yeah, the old shit has to be the material that the new shit feeds on. So you gotta turn it down. You gotta turn it down. You gotta turn it down. You gotta modernize the culture. Simple as that. Yeah, everybody giving a message of let's go back to the Bronze Age, or the Iron Age. Hell no. No, we in the space age, right? And whether you like it or not, those more civilized, when you say civilized, those more technically sound nations always overtake, you know what I'm saying, what they call the savage races. And what was they talking about? They were talking about the less technically sound nations will succumb at the end of the day.
Yeah, no doubt.
You might as well be the one to do it.
Yeah, when you talk about space age too, most people think you're talking about something like not being in nature, not being like one with nature. You know what I'm saying? And that's actually not it. You know what I'm saying? We doing, being in the space age, it causes you to get greener. You know what I'm saying? As far as your fuels that you're using, you can't go that far on combustibles. You know what I'm saying? Because you need more combustibles than the ship can handle carrying. You know what I'm saying? To outer space. That's why they can only go so far. Because it can only carry so much gasoline or rocket fuel. You can only carry so much of that in a rocket. You know what I'm saying? So, otherwise it'd be just too heavy to leave Earth's gravitational pull. So, you got to get better. You got to figure out a better way to move vehicles, to get to outer space, to get from state to state faster and more greener. You know what I'm saying? So being on that front line, that's the front line that we got to be on. You know what I'm saying? That's how you take over the world when you're on the front line, when you're a pioneer. See what I'm saying? Like when them white folks came over here to these United States, the settlers that got here first, they was the pioneers. They jumped out of, they didn't know what they was getting into. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't all about just the slavery and all of that, in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? You got these people coming to settle in a new world. You know what I'm saying? So you're seeing who on top now. We see who on top now. So us looking at the past and understanding how things work, you want to be a pioneer. That's all I'm saying, man. You just want to be a pioneer. We have to be on the forefront of ingenuity, of innovation, and all of that kind of stuff. We need to be the settlers, the pioneers, and all of that kind of stuff. But go ahead, and get up.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's facts. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, space age to our people be like astrology. Like that John I sent to our boy, man, Neil deGrasse Tyson was saying, he was saying astrology was created in a pre-scientific era, back when they thought the world had a globe, it was a dome around the earth, and the stars were just lights. You know what I'm saying? But we still take that today and be like, oh, we in retrograde, and I'm acting this kind of way. That's the space age to them. You know what I'm saying? So we got to change that whole mindset. There's some people out there. I ain't gonna say everybody like that. But
we got to. I guess the greatest gift that the African American can give to the continent of Africa is to promote science and technology and engineering, bro. Like you got to be able to put to be in the space age to put a satellite. So out of all the African nations, right, you only got 3 that's in the space age. And so what is meant by being in the space age is that you know what I'm saying? You have land satellites. Like, like you need satellites for cell phones. You know what I'm saying? You need cell phone towers, but you also need these satellites to transmit information back and forth. Yeah, that's important right there.
Yep, that's true. My
Yeah,
bad.
no
I keep muting
doubt.
out because there's a lot of noise around me.
In the space age, you need to be able to communicate in light speed. So if you ain't communicating in light speed, you always behind. You're always 2-3 steps behind if you ain't communicating in light speed. So it takes that engineering, that technology that I'm just talking about, those satellites and all that kind of stuff, the roads, you know what I mean, the electrical grid, all of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like that's what it's all about, and that's what we need to be really putting our focus in. If you want to be the game changers, if we want to be the world, if we want to get on the world stage, like I said, that's what we need to be. That engineering, that technology. You know what I mean? Be on the forefront of medicine. We ain't even. I seen. I wanted to bring up too, and it ain't changing the conversation, but it's on a different note. When I saw the volunteers for the COVID vaccination, ain't none of them black. How come we ain't volunteering? You know what I'm saying? To be on the forefront of this, of a pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Like it's we scared to do that, to be on the forefront. You know what I'm saying? To really, we'll put our life on the line for a pair of Jordans or for $30. You know what I'm saying? But to change the world for your grandkids, it's like, oh, I ain't really, I don't really want to do that. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, most people ain't even gonna take. Most people ain't even gonna take that vaccine, man. That's what's messed up about it. Even if we do find one.
No, that's a great point. That other nations do. They step out on a damn limb, right? We're afraid. Okay, we're afraid to sacrifice for that next generation to have a damn vaccine for that baby born. So these Europeans, these Chinese, these other nations are sacrificing for them babies that's born right now during this time, so that they won't have to go through what we went through. They're sacrificing. So we have lost the scientific innovation and the scientific understanding to even know what a real sacrifice is and why they need to sacrifice. Because you don't even have to be scientifically literate to understand what a sacrifice is. You can just say, I'm sacrificing no matter what. If they're gonna kill me, it's gonna kill me. But at least the next person to get that shot won't die because they understood why it killed me. That's goddamn sacrifice. And I don't think we willing for that level of nationhood. And see, we talk about the Iron Age nationhood. We don't talk about space age nationhood. You know what I'm saying? Like vaccines is modern science. Okay, we don't want to talk about that. We want to debate that. And by the way, we're gonna have a debate on the 17th. Chill talk, right? Chill talk. All right. We're gonna go beat the brakes off these anti-vaxxers. Hopefully Saturday we're gonna do a show on the blue pills and the gold water and all that foolery, man. We're gonna stay on their heads. It's our job, right? To educate this generation.
The gold water.
That's better than the alkaline, eh?
Y'all killing me, man. Y'all be killing me, man.
Oh man. Yo, I'm saying this is what we up against, yo. It's funny, yo, and that's why we not, lead the way, yo. Like we're not arguing with a whole bunch of religious people. We're gonna state our points. You know what I'm saying? We only gonna teach people who are teachable. You feel me? So if you coming in with the bad questions, nigga, then this conversation ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you 1 minute. I'm gonna beat you up, and we done with it. But if you coming in genuine questions, you know what I'm saying? See, it's a difference between you asking a question because you want to know, or you asking a question because you're trying to debate. And see, I can smell it a mile away. And see, people looking at it from the outside think, he done let that man answer his question. No, the nigga is coming in not to answer a question. He's coming in to battle me. You know what I'm saying? With his spookism, with his intelligent design, shit that's already been handled in other communities. Space age communities do not debate whether evolution works or not. They are already incorporated in their medicine. China has some of the oldest traditional medicine traditions on planet Earth, but yet they still have modern medicine. Could not Africa do the same thing? See, this is what I'm saying. So if y'all claiming to love Africa, which y'all really don't, y'all say y'all love the fairy tale Africa where you can go back to the Iron Age with swords and shit and defeat a space age people. It's not going down. Only in the movies does this happen. Because even if you was to defeat them, how would you run that infrastructure? Would you be ready to take the United States? No, you would not. The concrete would break up in 100 years. In 100 years, it'd be like the Roman Empire, with the quote unquote the daggone Visigoths and Goths and Brits. They couldn't even administer the Roman Empire. It fell to ruins.
Right,
That's why they went into the Dark Age.
Hey,
they
without maintenance, without human maintenance, vegetation would take over this motherfucker in 20 years. You wouldn't be able to see none of this shit. Grass and weeds and everything grow up, trees grow up all over this shit. Vegetation would take over the planet. But go ahead though,
yeah. No, that was Chef. Go ahead, Chef. Go ahead, Chef. You ready to say something?
Oh no, I was that was a good point. How the Goths and the Visigoths had overran the Roman Empire, but they didn't have the technology to or the, you know what I mean, to keep it going. You feel me? So the civilization fell into ruin. You feel me? Like without, so yeah, like even if we took over right now, we wouldn't even be able to keep it going. You feel me? Like it's
hell no.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, yo, but it's eye opening too. When we open our eyes to the reality that Bronze Age people is not gonna run a space age civilization, yo. So why is it a concerted effort? And the quote unquote, I'm gonna start calling them the Bronze Age community, yo. Why do they keep asserting that the Bronze Age is better than the space age? What in the hell is going on? Why do they accept this?
I don't think they don't understand that you can still be one with nature and still be in the space age. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand why they don't get that. You know, like you said, look at the Chinese. They got a pretty old traditional medicine thing that they do, but they yet and still they leading in medicine. You know what I'm saying? In the world, they leading in science and technology in the world. You know what I mean?
It's really they turned science into the enemy, man. Once they made science the enemy, it's like shit. Religion did it first, and then they moved on from religion, and once science started disproving other beliefs or whatever, like man, they ain't trying to rock with that.
Oh man. Oh man.
Take away their beliefs, man. Why they gonna be cool with science?
And so what religion China got down? They on some neutral shit, right?
They say like Buddhism is like an atheistic religion. I really don't know much about it, but you know.
Yeah. No, it is. Yeah, they don't have
no kind of on that. They on that reincarnation, ain't it?
Nah, man, come on. No, you funny.
No, that's Hindu.
That's Hinduism, yo. Funny.
Like karma and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah,
they don't have a state. They don't have a state religion.
Oh, Hindu. Okay.
Yeah, y'all can look that up. I don't think China has a state religion. Y'all feel me?
Yeah, no doubt.
Look that up real quick. Just type in China. China. They have a lot of different things we see. So they prove positive that God ain't with them. Yeah, God ain't with them. Let me see. All right, let's see about China. Let's see what kind of religion they got. China. Burn up my dead phone. One second. Let's see what China got here. China. Population, currency, name, history, military, economy, science and technology, culture. Since ancient times, China culture has been heavily influenced by Confucianism for much of the country's dynastic area. Okay, opportunities for social advancement could be provided by high performance and prestigious imperial examination. Hold on. Dang. Literature, cuisine, sports. Dang, ain't got no daggone. Man. We had to go to the CIA fact book for that, huh? Y'all familiar with that?
Nah, I ain't never heard of.
China banned a few.
Y'all ain't never heard of that? The CIA fact book? Y'all tripping. That's how you tell what a country is, the size of it. You say how hard. Okay. Let me select the country.
It's a wiki article that's talking about how Chinese forced the Catholics and the Muslims to convert to atheism.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Right.
If you look up what they banned them, they banned Tibetan Buddhism and Catholics and Muslims and various other religions. Yeah, but they had them convert to atheism. It's crazy, but I just wanted to throw that in.
Okay, so all right, so they got 18% is Buddhism, 5.1% is Christianity, 1.8% is Muslims. Folk religion is 21%. Look at that. Once again, folk religion is 21%, 21.9%. Hindus is 0.1, Jewish is 0.1, the other 0.7 includes Taoism, unaffiliated. Look how many, look, no religion, unaffiliated, 52%. Ain't affiliated with nothing. There y'all go. Go to the CIA fact book, and it's going to break down everything about a country. With the life expectancy, the whole everything, the religion, everything. So when you go to the CIA fact book and look up different African countries, you'll see that they have been conquered by religion. The technology and all that shit y'all talked about, they on the low end. Right? They need infrastructure. Okay, so back to the Roman Empire and when it fell. That's why it's important to study world history. You won't make them crazy sweeping statements about, yes, we want to be on our own and by ourselves. No, you don't want that. No, you know, in the civilized world, right, where mass communication is available, in the Stone Age world, and a matter of fact, it was communication with other tribes in the Stone Age that helped push Homo sapiens past the other humans that they was living with. So you know you had other humans that was living in close proximity to Homo sapiens, Homo Neanderthal, Homo Neanderthal. You know what I'm saying? These are other humans, but the thing that made us better was our social skills. So how better can you be social? How do you socialize? By having trade routes, right? By having a means to socialize, to having a means to meet another man's daughter and marry her and bring the groups tight knit. How better way to do that with planes and trains and roads, y'all? That's an important, valuable thing to have. As humans, that's why the coronavirus, you know what I'm saying, is so harmful because it feeds into our need to be social. But infrastructure helps you to be more social. Technology, ideas, So that's why the Egyptians were so successful, because they not only had trading partners in inner Africa, they had trading partners through the Levant, you know what I'm saying, through the area of confluence out to the rest of the world. Okay? And you see how you get left behind, right? When you're not reaching out to the rest of the world. Here's a lesson to be learned. Never, absolutely never paint yourself in a corner. Never. Never stop communication with other people. Never. Because you'll end up like one of them tribes who did not have contact with modern civilizations, and you see where they are today. They come and they shoot poison darts at you and shit. You know what I'm saying? You get tired of it and you drop one bomb on them and they done. Go ahead, Chef.
Yeah, it happened to China. When China closed its doors in I think it was in the 12th or 13th century, you know what I mean? They was on par with everybody else. Actually, they had more. Actually, they was all a little bit more superior than the rest of the world. But they was definitely on par. But they shut their doors, and by the time they met back up with Europe, they was dominated. You feel me? They end up getting colonized because they shut their doors, so their technology didn't move forward. You know, a lot of the stuff that Renaissance Europe used to propel themselves, like the cannon and the guns and stuff, actually was in China. But when China shut its door, they stopped innovating those technologies. You get what I'm saying? So by the time they done and all of that shit again, it was way more refined than they wasn't even using it. They, you know, they was still relying on, you feel me, their archery and, you know what I mean, shit like that. So they couldn't even compete, you know what I mean, with the Europeans militarily no more. So yeah, you definitely shouldn't close your doors. They learned that lesson, and now look at them now. You feel me? They leading the world. You feel me? So never shut your doors. Go ahead.
Now, so we can't listen to the conscious community because they have a message of shut your doors. They have a message of isolation. They have a message of anti-scientific rhetoric. They have a message of the Iron Age is the best age. They have a message of that. They have a message of being relegated to incense, you know what I'm saying, and chakras and crystals. They have a message of, they have the new age message modernized, you know what I'm saying, by ignorance. I'm going to say it again. They have the new age message of modernized ignorance. They got you following Bronze Age Europeans that they're coming with the natural thing and the God is that. I'm going to say it again, with the natural and nature and goddess approach to living on earth and how natural is better. They misuse the term all the time. So I just want to put that out there. And that's exactly what the conscious community is. You know what I'm saying? They are a bronze, they're seeking for the Bronze Age because the Bronze Age is better. No evidence shows that. Nothing about the Bronze Age shows it was better than the Space Age. They got decimated by infectious diseases, you know what I'm saying, which is a clear example of, you know what I'm saying, CK put some good archaeology in the group, right? And it talked about what the Africans did, you know what I'm saying, during pandemics, right? And how, you know, to social distance is African. You feel me? And so you keep following these Europeans and ignorant Trump followers, right? And just ignorant, miseducated black people, right? Where they don't think social distances and masks make sense. You know what I'm saying? Then that's not being African at all. We have misconstrued what being African is, right? Being African is being on par with what the rest of the world is doing. I'm gonna say this again real slow. Actually, being African is having the ability to be on par with the rest of the world. That's being African. To be foolish is to be isolated and you will get left behind. And that's what that actually advocates. That's why I won't even go into my own damn store. Why? Because they run around like the natural is better. So I can't do it. There you go.
Good point. I don't even go into my barbershop. I'm cutting hair in my house because it's safer. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to build a shop in my house just for me and my clients so I could keep everything sterile and clean. I can't have everybody pulling on the door, touching shit, other people, clients coming in. It wasn't safe. You feel me? So, you know, I respect my clients a little bit more. So I pulled myself out of my shop, put it in my house where me and my clients can have a more, you know, sterile environment for business. Because I believe in the coronavirus.
Yeah, it's a scientific fact. Yeah. Matter of fact, there's a D strand out that's actually counting out 70% of the world, and it's more infectious. Absolutely, look it up. Yeah, it's not more deadlier. It's just more infectious. Yeah.
It's attacking from 19 to 30, that age group.
But what'd you say?
The new strain that they found is attacking the age group between 19 and 30.
You're talking too much shit. Oh.
They surviving it at a higher rate, but they infecting more people. You feel me?
Yeah, man. Mm-hmm.
So they gonna end up killing their grandmothers and shit.
Mm-hmm. That's how we're gonna get home to grandma. We're gonna let you get it. Ain't gonna kill you, we're gonna kill them. That's interesting. That's real interesting. Hey, Chef, how long we been on, yo?
How you can tell how long we've been on?
I don't know. You look at the YouTube channel. You'll put the link out in case somebody want to come on and add. The link in the chat room. See, we can go over and see what Garfield's talking about.
Oh, Garfield Live?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we put in a good hour and a half, yo. I think he talked.
I think we done held it down long enough.
Anybody want the link in the chat room? They good. Matter of fact, we had a real powerful conversation today, man. The conversation that needs to be had. Absolutely needed to be had, yo. Hey, anybody got anything else to add? Where you at, Concrete Corey? Where you at? Y'all want to add anything?
Corey done jumped off.
What's up? How about you?
You know, it's working.
Yeah, man, I'm just listening there, man. Yeah, y'all had a good conversation, man.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna go live. We're going live too. I mean, Saturday, yo. Go ahead and finish all them pseudos, all that misinformation they pouring into the get back on their heads, make them think.
Gotta get on that gold water, man. I don't even know how I ain't heard about that.
Mind my business.
I am your business.
No, you're not. Stay away from you. You ain't been in lunch. I won't see you again. Pretty much figured that out. I just figured that one out. Shit, no, you will not be. Okay. Yeah, you done. Once you do that, see you later. I see you Monday. All right. All right, I see you Monday. Hey, where you at, Chef?
Hey, yo, we going over the golf field, yo.
All right, let's go on the golf field. All right, yo, appreciate everybody tuning in. Peace.